Hello, I hope everyone's having a great holiday season. And one of my followers just gave me this quick little link to Stellantis' media website that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And, well, it looks like that turbocharged six-cylinder powertrain that we've all been waiting for is finally coming really soon, as all the rumors have said. And it looks like it'll be built in Mexico. So let's dive in, talk about this engine, why it's so significant, and why it's kind of going to be a big deal for the next decade, I think, for the Stellantis brand. So let's dive right in. So what is this engine and what are we talking about here? So we're talking about this engine called the GME T6 powertrain. Basically what that means is global medium engine, T6 meaning turbocharged six-cylinder powertrain. And this engine is likely going to be replacing or kind of slowly phasing out the Pentastar V6s over time, as well as some Hemi V8 engines, which is a really, really significant kind of piece of information right here. So let's talk about what we're dealing with right here in front of us. So if you can go over to Stellantis' Media North America website, they actually have an entire page dedicated to the North American manufacturing operations. Now this includes the United States, Canada, and Mexico, all on this one page, and we're looking at assembly operations and assembly locations. We can scroll all the way down and we'll go to powertrain operations right here. And you can see where all the different engines and powertrains and transmissions are all built. Now, if we highlight this Saltillo engine plant in Saltillo, Mexico, we can see right here we have the 5.7 liter Hemi V8 being built there, the 6.2 liter Hellcat engine, the 6.4 liter V8, and the 6.4 liter. There's two different Hemi V8s being built there, and the 6.4 liter layouts as well. And right on top, we'll see 3 liter GME T6 HO. Now, like I said before, GME T6, Global Medium Engine Turbo 6, HO means high output. Now, what this significantly means is this is going to be a high output version, of course, of this 3 liter inline 6 engine. There's nothing kind of signifying here that if there's going to be a different output. Now, going back to the rumors and more of this engine, this has been in production but in development for a long time now. All the way back from 2017, these rumors started. And of course, in April 2nd, 2019, there was a patent filed for a inline 6 engine by, I think it was FCA at the time. Of course, now it's Stellantis Group. And it's clearly showing a inline 6 engine. So we have, of course, looking at this patent image really easy, we can see the 6 cylinders laid out in that longitudinal inline 6 format, and looking at the top end we can see two kind of like disc shaped little items, and those appear to be turbochargers at least, or superchargers. Most of the rumors say turbochargers. I doubt they would put 2 superchargers on this engine, but likely one of them is going to be some sort of like electronic turbocharger or like an electronic supercharger. There's a lot of different names that go under. So this kind of feeds into the rumors of a 48-volt mild hybrid system being tacked on to this engine, or some sort of plug-in hybrid variant coming later down the road. We're not really sure too much about that. But yeah, this is the engine that will be coming soon, that 3 liter GME T6. And some of the other rumors, now it's kind of closer and closer to that 2023 date that everyone's been talking about for it to come out. We're going to see a lot of different power outputs too. So we might see the high output version come out first, and we might see the lesser powerful variants come out later on. But that high output version is rumored to make over 500 horsepower. Some are saying 525 horsepower, which is a lot of power actually from that engine, and 2 turbochargers, or at least a turbo and some sort of electronic turbocharger. That's a lot of advancement coming from the Stellantis Group, which has been kind of stagnant in technology. If you go back to under FCA for a long time, they've been producing big Hemi V8s, and the Pentastar V6 has been around for 10 years, and it's been kind of just putting along this whole time, even though these powertrains are pretty popular from consumers still. So this is a big new introduction to their powertrain lineup. So, of course, like we said, it's likely going to be around 300 to 525 horsepower, depending on the variants. We might see that higher output engine come first. But unlike the Pentastar V6, we may only see this in a longitudinal rear-wheel drive layout. And that opens up the possibilities to a lot of different products. So originally we thought it was going to be coming in the Grand Cherokee, the new Grand Cherokee that we see right now, first by 2023. Which may or may not still happen, but new reports are saying that it may come in the next generation Challenger first, so we're going to have to see what happens with that. But this engine is going to be in a lot of different vehicles from the Stellantis Group. When I mean a lot, I mean the Grand Cherokee L, the Wagoneer, Challenger, the next generation. If there's a new generation Charger, likely that too. Likely the Wrangler, likely all the Ram products as well, as it is, they're all kind of a rear-wheel drive longitudinal layout products. Now, what I'm really curious to see is going to happen is if this engine is going to make its way to Alfa Romeo or not. The reason I say this is because Alfa Romeo currently uses the GME T4 powertrain, which is their turbocharged four-cylinder power plant. It's the 2-liter turbo 4. And I'll be very interested to see if that engine would make it to Alfa Romeo, maybe in sort of like a mid-tier level of power. I don't know if that's going to happen. This may only be exclusive to like Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and maybe some other Stellantis products that may use this longitudinal rear-wheel drive layout in the future, like maybe Lancia. We'll have to see what happens with that, but those might be more EV focused going down the road. There's a lot of different stuff happening with the Stellantis product plans. So like I said before, this may be like kind of phasing out or working to phase out the Pentastar V6 as well as some Hemi engines that are currently being produced, all in the name of efficiency and fuel economy and trying to meet all the stricter emission standards that are happening right now worldwide. So currently, the venerable Pentastar V6 has been around for over 10 years now. We've seen a few different layouts. We have a 3-liter, 3.2 liter, 3.6 liter that we're commonly knowing right now. And the Pentastar V6 has been found in transverse layouts, it's been in longitudinal layouts, and right now it's mostly in longitudinal layouts. And what I mean by that, like the rear-wheel drive mounted powertrains. And that's everything from the Wrangler to the Grand Cherokee to the Wagoneer to some Ram models. And even back then in the smaller kind of variants, it was in the Chrysler 200, which kind of flopped. It was in the Town & Country. It was in the Avenger channel. A lot of different products. So this engine's been around for a while, which is, of course, we know. And of course, there is a kind of a sort of a plug-in hybrid version of this engine as well, in the Pacifica. So the Pentastar V6 has been around for a long time, so to kind of see this slowly dial out over time, it's going to be interesting, especially with an all-new engine comes all-new issues and all-new reliability problems that likely will happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but everything new is always going to have some kind of issue at first at some point, so we'll have to see what's happening. But this engine, this new upcoming GME T6, has been in development for a long time now, a few years, so I think they're trying to put a lot of effort into making sure it works well on the outset. And like I said before, we're going to see a lot of different variants of this engine, not only in terms of power, but of course mild hybrid systems, single or dual turbos, maybe a plug-in hybrid variant as well. I personally would love to see this engine in a 4xe version for like one of the Jeep products, because right now the 4xe Wrangler and the upcoming 4xe Grand Cherokee are going to be using a 4-cylinder engine with kind of like that electric powertrain combined together. I think it'd be really cool to see this engine paired with a PHEV kind of powertrain as well. That could produce a lot of power, I think, and would be a nice kind of like update, I think, to like the turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. There's a lot still going to be happening down the road as well. Of course, in Dodge's aspect, if this is going to be kind of shoved into the next generation Challenger, as a lot of these new rumors are saying, which may not be true or not, that's going to affect, I think, a lot of kind of the enthusiast market, I think, for that piece. Everyone's used to the Hemi V8s, that nice raw V8 sound, whether it be naturally aspirated or kind of supercharged in the Hellcat layouts. And I think people are going to be kind of be missing that out once those engines slowly phase out. And I mean, straight sixes sound good. They can sound very good, and they have a long history of performance applications. So I'm going to see, it would be really interesting to see how the Stellantis group kind of dials that in with this new powertrain. This isn't the only brand that is kind of moving to straight six power plants recently. We saw Mercedes reintroduce a straight six, and they're like AMG 53 model lines and some other products as well. That is a pretty cool engine. It has a mild hybrid system tacked onto it, and it's been pretty successful so far. Of course, BMW has been using their straight six powertrains for a very, very long time, and we even have Mazda coming out with an all-new straight six mild hybrid and a longitudinal rear-wheel drive layout. There's a lot of words being thrown around here, and we'll see in some upcoming SUVs, hopefully a new Mazda 6 as well, based on that powertrain as well. And kind of the main reason for this is the wide flexibility of the straight six. You can have turbocharging, you have mild hybrid, but you can have them on any engine, right? Well, straight six also, especially in the longitudinal layout, it has a nice balance in that kind of where you can kind of shove the engine at least far back as you want to, and as well it's a very smooth powertrain, and so if you want more luxurious applications as well. Nothing wrong with V6s, of course, but a lot of people are moving to these straight six powertrains right now, which is interesting to see. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys this quick update, and one of my followers did actually send me a spy video, and this was recently, of a wrapped up what appears to be a Wagoneer or Grand Wagoneer prototype, but these are on sale already, and to kind of see one's still wrapped up, it looks like some kind of weird exhaust sticking out of it. I'm curious to see if maybe that's a testing for this new engine. I'm not really sure. It's really hard to kind of tell whether there's a new engine being tested, a new vehicle. Most likely the usual ways we can test this out is by looking at like if there's a weird exhaust sticking out at the end or something, but this could be possibly what we're looking at right here. I'm not really sure. We're also not really sure what vehicle is going to have this engine first. Right now, the rumors are saying Challenger, but we still could see it in the Grand Cherokee or whatnot. But yeah, I just want to give you guys this update. Please take it however way you want to, and feel free to discuss this engine in the comments, because I'm sure there's a lot of curiosity around it, as well as a lot of people are still kind of figuring out what it is still. Thank you guys again for watching, and stay tuned for a lot more news and reviews coming soon.